Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain how to use Spire.Doc to change the font in Word documents. This video will be divided into 3 parts. They are function introduction, code explanation and example operations. Let's start with the function introduction. Changing the font of a Word document is important in many ways. For example, different fonts have different characteristics. Fonts with clear glyphs and proper spacing help readers easily recognize text and improve reading speed. You can also use different fonts to emphasize important information. For example, using bold or italic fonts can emphasize headings, subheadings, or key points, making the structure of the document clear. Here are 2 revised documents. First, change the font of a paragraph. I will demonstrate this in Microsoft Word. Open the document, and select the paragraph where you want to change the font. Set the font to Cambria, the font size to 12, the color to red and the style to italic. Second, change the font of an entire section. Since the general steps are the same, I won't demonstrate this in Microsoft Word again. Let's move on to the next part, code explanation. Here are 2 code snippets, one for modifying the font of a paragraph and the other for modifying the font of a section. The code on the left consists mainly of the main method and the method for changing the paragraph font. In the main method, we need to create a new document object and load the sample document first. Then we retrieve the 3rd paragraph in the first section. One thing to note here is that the index starts at 0. Call the modification method to change the font. Finally, save the result and release the resources. In the modification method, first, we need to iterate through all the child objects in the paragraph. Since a paragraph can contain different types of objects, such as text and images. Text is generally stored in the text range object. We need to check if the object is text range. After getting the text range, call the methods in textrange.getCharacterFormat to set the font, such as font name, size, color or style. The code on the right aims to modify the font of the entire section. Unlike the left one, modifying the entire section involves iterating through all the paragraphs in the section. The modification method is the same as explained earlier, so I won't go into detail here. As we know, a section consists of a header, a footer, and a body. Here, we mainly change the body. So we need to iterate through the child objects of the section.getBody method and check if the child object is a paragraph. If so, convert it to a paragraph type and then call the modification method. Next, I will perform them in IDEA. I have already created a project in advance and imported the Spire.Doc package into it. If you don't know how to import it, please watch the video previously released. In addition, the required document is also placed in the specified location. Some simple code has been given in advance. After loading the sample document, we need to retrieve the first section of this document. The index here is 0. Retrieve the 3rd paragraph of this section and store it in a paragraph object. Then, we call the modification method. In this method, the first step is to iterate through all the child objects in the paragraph. Then check if the type of the retrieved child object is text range. Because text is stored in text range. If so, do a forced conversion here. Next, we call the methods under the getCharacterFormat object to set the font to Cambria, the font size to 12, the color to red and the style to italic. One thing to note here is that the unit of font size is ptok. Run this code. Click on the generated file, we can see that the desired fonts have been set successfully. Next, I will demonstrate the second code. I have given similar code in advance. Let's move on to the method for modifying the section. First, iterate through the child objects in the body of the document. Check if the object is a paragraph object. If so, do a forced conversion here. Then, we call the previously mentioned modification method to change the font of each paragraph. When setting a custom color, we need to call this method to set the RGB. Run this project. After a successful run, click on the generated file. We can see that the font has been set as needed. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you for watching.